Hello, hello, and welcome everyone. I am your host, Lizzy, one of the producers of the LizyT Show. How are you doing today? It is Friday, and for some of you that follows me, they know that I hate Fridays because this is actually the end of the week when I don't get to talk to you, whether it is here on my YouTube channel or my radio show as well. So I'm going to have a little bit of a break and we'll see you on Monday. But we have an incredible lady is going to be talking about books. And I love books. I love to promote incredible authors, and today everyone is not going to be the exception. I got a little flower in here, and the reason I have this beautiful flower is one of my favorite, that's one of my favorite colors. It was my birthday on Monday rather, and so that's a gift from my girls. So I love that. So thank you so much for all of the best wishes. And yeah, we had a blast with family, and my mom's birthday is also on Friday. So it was double whammy. So thank you again for all the best wishes. Today, everyone, we're here in Toronto, and our guest is from Toronto. We've been having guests from all over the world, from Australia, from the United States, always our authors and entrepreneurs from United States. But we're back to Canada, which is great. Finally, we're getting a lot more people from Canada, from Toronto. So this is our neighborhood, which is fantastic. I'm loving it. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background. By the way, if you're interested in being part of the LizyT Show, just make sure that you do connect with us. There's several ways to connect with us. Our guest knows, and we'll connect internally. So I'm looking forward to connecting with you. And yeah, send me a DM. As you know, we're all over social media. And by the way, today we're broadcasting, as you can see it on the screen, all over on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, my YouTube channel, of course, my website, and the list goes on. So let me give you a little bit of background. As you are seeing on the screen right now, we're going to be talking to Peter Gay, and she is an author. She is an incredible person. I've been reading her bio, but I'm going to give you a little bit of background here. She started writing short prose and short auto fiction for the Jamaican Observer. She loved great short story, as it can stay with you forever. I love that quote. After she became a parent, she started writing children's books, and they're all about important lessons that she wanted to make sure that they were fun for her children. The messages of compassion, love it, message of kindness, inclusion, diversity, persevere, tendency. This is actually one of the reasons that I started reading to my kids as well. And road safety, which is incredible. I mean, she has teenagers and young ladies, as I do as well. So those are very important things for her kids' life. She loved writing for her children so much that she thought, hey, other kids could have the benefit of that as well. And good for you. Good for you. This was important to her, and to make sure that other kids have that imagination as well. And that's the true spirit of an entrepreneur, a spirit of a writer. She wants to make sure that others gets the benefit of this. Writing was an influence by her background as a Jamaican, a person of color, a woman of living in diversity in North America, and she observed everyday tension of struggle for an identity gap between generations, especially between immigrant children, which I observed that myself, being an immigrant myself. I know exactly what she's talking about. So without further ado, everyone, I would like to welcome her to the stage with a wonderful round of applause. Hello, Peter, and welcome to the LizyT Show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really well, thank you. That was a lovely introduction. Thank you so much.
I know. Is it interesting when you actually get to someone else to actually read your bio, and you start, listening to your life basically, and realize, wow, I've done all those things. I set out to do all of those things, and here I am. This is doesn't sound like my life, but it is. It feels surreal, doesn't it?
It does. It does. Yeah.
You have accomplished so much, and you've done a lot, and I've been reading your bio. I have your website, which we're going to be talking about in a little bit. But writing, you said it came natural to you because you always that was something within you since childhood. Did you have somebody in your life, a family member, a distant relative, somebody that influenced you, or this is part of you since you've known being you?
I It's possible that there might have been a past ancestor who loved writing, but my parents are natural storytellers. I've got a lot of my stories from them. But my mom used to read to me every single night when I was a little girl. And I think that's where my love of reading came from. And I think writing just followed from that. And growing up as the eldest child in Jamaica in the 70s, it was a time of turmoil back then. I think writing was my escape. Maybe in today's world with the internet and social media, maybe I would not have turned out this way. But back then, we did not have the internet. Television signed on at 4 o'clock. So writing was my way to express myself, to heal myself, and just to get my thoughts out. So I think it started from then.
Hmm. It's interesting that you said that your parents always read to you, my mom, your dad always read to you. And I think that's so important to get that creativity. And I find that actually yesterday I had the privilege to just go to, you probably know this place because you've taken your kids yourself to uh, the merry-go-round, the Woodbine area. And
Yes.
exactly. So I remember they're young, my older younger than my girls, and the first thing I ask, what are you reading lately? Because I'm curious, and that is exactly the same thing to my kids. I read them as much as I was able to because they come to an age that, obviously they don't want mommy to read them anymore. And I noticed that kids nowadays are not getting when you and and you actually gave yourself up, you were in the 70s, so we're probably about in the same age. They're not getting as much as reading as they used to when you and I grew up. And I think a lot had to do with social media, with the internet.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah, yeah. And
Go ahead.
and I'm glad that you're actually doing something about it, writing children's book. And this is what we need to have more and more nowadays. Try to get limit our kids with video time and play time and internet time, and having going back to the real, grabbing the book, smelling the pages, get their imagination flowing, and all of that good stuff that I find that it's getting lost and lost more and more with time goes on.
It is. And to be honest, it gets lost with us adults as well. I mean, I find that even with myself, if I have been just watching movies and scrolling, to get back to the written word is actually a lot more difficult. And I think it's just how our brain works. We get used to a certain thing, and if it's easier, the brain is going to take the path of the least resistance, and it's going to want the movie instead of the book. So I think that our generation is quite lucky, and maybe it's the last generation that doesn't have to struggle so much with this. I found that with my older girls, pre-internet, they are readers even up to today. My younger children are not so into reading as the older ones. So I think that speaks to the influence of social media.
Yes, yes, and we're doing something about it. We're promoting your book. We're talking about, how do you get into back into reading, and I still love. I mean, this bookshelf is full of books, and I still love touching a book. I still love writing in it. But that's one of the things that I do: getting a highlighter, and then things that touch me, things that move me, things that inspire me, things that I can use next day, things that I can talk about it on the show. You know, I read a book on somebody that sent me a book here on the LizyT show. I'm able to discuss and sound a little bit more intelligent. Not only that, but with a broader understanding of what's going on in the world, other
Absolutely.
than relying on social media. So I don't want to forget, Peter, where can people find you? That's very, very important.
So my website is petergainash.com. Um, Thank you. And I also have I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, but also I should have given you my website, because if anyone from Canada wants to buy the book, they can just message me, and I can get that out to them as well.
Well,
So
not to worry, because we are going to share that website for people to take a look, and we're going to be talking about your great work. So let's start right here. You have this incredible drawing. I'm not sure this is you that did it, or you partnered up with somebody else, but that's incredible. This Let's talk about what we're seeing on the screen right now. This is a great story. This is a brand new release?
So this book came out a few years ago, even though the website needs to be updated. But Bushyhead is an important story to me. Bushyhead came out of the experience of my daughter and my two nieces, all of whom went through the same experience, both in Canada and in the United States. And all these three little girls were told that they couldn't be princesses because of their curly hair. And that was just the first aspect of it. Then as they got older, it was, being called a puffy head or being teased about hair type. And the amount of people who tried to get me to straighten my daughter's hair was just unbelievable. And I wanted to write a book to celebrate the curls, to celebrate the bushy head, the naps, the kinks, whatever, however your hair is, however you want to describe it. Um, no one should be feeling lesser than because of the hair that naturally grows out of their head. And the thing is, two of these young ladies actually went on to donate their hair to children who need curly hair wigs, whether that's for
Wow.
alopecia or cancer. So my daughter went on to do this. It was, I think, in the midst of COVID, 2021, it might have been, or 2020, when she cut her long curls and donated all that hair.
Wow, that is beautiful. Oh my goodness, that is so wonderful. Your daughter and you, that is, I actually had to do that. I remember having my hair up to my waist, and I got pregnant of this is going 20 years ago, got pregnant of my daughter, my first daughter. And I said, I'm not going to have time to look after my hair while I'm pregnant with a brand new baby, not knowing what to do. So I'm just going to donate. And I did exactly the same thing. And it was chopped to my neck, and I'd never looked back. I thought somebody else. And they did send me a picture saying that my hair was able to help two girls with that had cancer. So they had chemo, and they lost all their hair. So it's a great feeling. I know what your daughter is.
It's a
She felt. I know what she felt. So the drawing, I love the drawing. I'm not sure if this is something that you worked on or somebody else worked on it, but that is incredible.
I had a very, very talented illustrator whose name is Alia Holmes. And my girlfriend found her on Instagram, actually. And she was just
Wow.
like fit for this. It was exactly what I was looking for. So the character, Miranda May, I just think she just got her so perfectly. It was based a bit off of my daughter, my nieces, kind of a mix of different people. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so we're going to be talking about this other this those are three other, like you're writing that, like, is you never stop, which is great. Juliet, Don't Take It Raja to School, and Izzy Wants an Education. So are all three different books.
Yes. So Juliet Malevolent, just the story just came to me. Not the story, but the initial school chant that Juliet had to do, because she's in an opposite world where good is bad and bad is good. And she has
Mm.
to basically say, I promise to be evil. It's not really evil though, it's just a bunch of kids playing pranks at school, and the teacher is celebrating them for their unkindness. But Juliet wants to be kind. In the picture, she's cuddling the cat. She doesn't torment the dog. She wants to do well in school. She wants to do her homework and be there for her classmates. So she's different from everyone else. And I wanted to do this story because it was a message. Be yourself, be unique, be the best version of you. And that's where Juliet came from. So there I am sitting at my kitchen table, and this school chant comes to me, which I'm sorry, I can't remember right now, but basically, I promised to be naughty and annoying, something like that. And I said, this sounds really cute. I'm going to write it down. Wrote it down, put it away in a notebook. A couple years later, when I was going through my closet, saw the notebook and said, this sounds like a story. I should do something with this. And that's where Juliet came from. So describing the creative process, sometimes it's unexplainable. That just came into my head. And then around that, I created the story of Juliet Malevolent.
Wow, wow. Your imagination, it's I'm flabbergasted. That is incredible. Good for you. Good for you. And this has been a little while now that you've wrote Juliet Malevolent.
Yes.
Couple of years now. Yes. So Don't Take Rich to School.
Okay, that was the very first children's book that I wrote. It has a special place in my heart. And, when I see these old images, I think, oh, I wish I could just go back and make them better. But anyway, I love this story because it represents the life of myself and my daughters when we first came to Canada. And my daughter Jade had this stuffed tiger called Raja. Raja went everywhere with Jade. And she would say, as I also did with the characters in the book, that Raja kept her safe and he scared away the monsters. So one day she wanted to take Raja to school. And this really happened. Don't Take Raja to School is based off of the very true story of what happened to my daughter. So she took Raja to school, even though we were all saying, don't take Raja to school. Mom finally relented. Roger goes to school, and you know what happens. He goes missing. So every year the school had a carnival, and there was a stuffy room. And every single year, Jade went back to the stuffy room looking for Raja. He was never there. And this was just part of our story. So I wrote the story and then thought, but this is not a very good ending. Raja is gone. I don't want to send that message to children, don't take something to school, it'll be lost forever. So I sort of didn't do anything with that story. Then first of all, she lost him in kindergarten. In sixth grade, her last year of school, she goes to the stuffy room, looks for Raja, because she has never forgotten him. He's not there. She's saying goodbye to everyone because they're now about to go to high school. She's walking through the hall, and there is a woman holding Raja. And she says, that looks like a stuffed animal that I had when that I lost here at this school when I was very young. And the woman said, I just found him on the floor. So it was such a celebration of hope, of life. It just became such a rich story. And we still have Roger here with us today. I mean, he's missing an eye now, but I had to write that story. And when I'm doing school presentations, I tell kids that Jade has always loved cats. And now she has a real life Raja. We have a cat living with us called Monkey. So she's never given up that love.
It's interesting that actually you gave me the perfect segue, because I was going to ask you, are you doing this in school? And the answer, obviously, you are, because what you're doing, again, has to be taken back to real hands-on kids, for them to experience, for their imagination to go wild, and for their they need that. They need that. I just that's all I can say. They need that. So good for you. How, what is the feedback when you go into a schoolroom and a classroom and you started telling your story? I can just see their eyes, just wandering around and asking questions. What are the ages usually that you work with, and what is the response from the teachers and the parents when they get to see your presentation?
Usually it's 3 to 7. And I always get a good response, especially with Juliet Malevolent, because I think kids love the idea of an opposite world. And I think they find that, very funny. Um, I think they like that the most. I've had the best feedback with Bushy Head and with Juliet Malevolent. Are you there, Lizy? Yeah.
Of course, yeah. I guess now your fourth book is the one that we're seeing here at very last, which is Easy Ones in Education. Talk about that.
So I was driving to work one day or driving home from work, and I heard this horrible um, documentary about Roma children in Europe, and how they were not allowed to go to the same schools as others, and people said that they smelled bad, and on and on. And it reminded me so much of the civil rights movement and segregation. And I thought, wow, but I didn't really think anything of it that much. Meaning I didn't think to put it in a story. I thought about it, and it hurt me, and it impacted me very much, but I didn't think of writing a children's story until I went to pick up my children from school. And I'm looking up in this huge tree, and there is this squirrel looking into the classroom. And I'm thinking, I bet he's thinking that he would like to go to school too. So that's when the two ideas came together. And I thought, yeah, what about that? A squirrel wants to go to school, but people say that it's not possible, that she can't learn. Essie can't learn. She's a squirrel. She smells bad. She's an animal. And I thought that I want to do that. But then this is where the work comes into the creative process, because what does she learn in school that's so valuable? Book learning might not be so valuable to a squirrel. We don't have those in Jamaica, but you've seen so many dead ones in the street here. And I thought
Yes.
it would be valuable, how to cross the street safely. And I am such a big proponent of crossing the street, because I see people, children, not looking. The teenagers have their cell phones. People think they have the right of way in North America. I noticed that a lot when I first came here. And it used to be something, I guess it's something that bothered me and was always on my mind, because I would say to my kids, do you see how no one looks? Do you see how people just step into the road, or that cars are turning when there is a walking signal? You have to be aware. You have to have, you have to be looking both ways. Don't be daydreaming. So I think that that was my fear of wanting my children and all children to be safe on the road. I can't imagine a worse thing happening. So that's why I wrote Essie Wants an Education. Yeah, she wants an education, but what does she learn in school that's so important? She learns to cross the street.
Wow. I love that in every single book you have an incredible, strong, really powerful message. And especially the last one, to use a squirrel, an animal so pertinent to Canada, to North America. And, we see it everywhere. This is incredible. You must have so many ideas. I'm wondering what are you working on next or lately?
So I've just published an adult book. I'm really, really proud of it. So usually people think I'm just a children's author, but my real love is adult fiction and the short story genre. So I've just published a collection of short stories called Told Ya,
Wow.
and I'm working on marketing that book right now. Um, but I do have an idea in the works for a novel. This will be my attempt at the novel genre. Let's see how it goes. My very
Yes, yeah.
short, my
You
very
have
short attention span. I don't know. I need to really focus for that one.
well, you have a huge amount of imagination, and I'm wondering if you're laying at night and thinking this could be a really good idea for a book, or this could be a really good story, a short story. This could be really good for, I don't know, a little movie or something like that. Because the way you process things is very different to what a lot of people do, and the most important part of it, you put it into practice. I mean, the fact that in my favor right now is the squirrel story, because you put in that obvious thing that we all see, but we don't have that connection, and you make that connection, which is incredible, incredible. The
Thank you.
reviews of your book, you're very welcome. The reviews on your book, people that have said or written things, I know that those books can be found on your website, but they can also be purchased through Amazon or Barnes and Noble or any of those places.
Yes, it's mostly on Amazon now. I intend to have them on my website, but that's not available yet. That will be available in May, but definitely on Amazon. And I'm so glad you brought up that thing about imagination. Imagination
Mm-hmm.
is so important, and I never had a problem with imagining stories, but my block comes with the follow through and making the space
Mm-hmm.
and time to write. I definitely would say that I need to work on that a lot more
And
because
where do you usually for the adult story? What you're working on something for adults now, which is brand new to you because you've been writing for a while now, all about children's. Where did the inspiration came from to write your adult book?
so I actually started out with adult fiction. My first book of short stories was published back in 2010. But for this book, a lot of the inspiration came from my father's stories, my stepfather's stories, and my mother's stories. I got a lot of inspiration from them.
Mm. And can we have a little sneak preview of what's it gonna call or it?
So it's recently published. It's called Told Ya.
Woo!
Is on Amazon. And as I said, for anyone in Canada who would like to purchase a copy, they can also purchase through me through my email. Told Ya is many different characters. Six of the short stories are not linked; they're standalone. Six are linked with characters weaving in and out of each other's story, and basically it addresses the experience of immigrants in Jamaica, in Canada, um, and just the interplay with classism, with racism, with just trying to get through life.
Mm-hmm. So for everyone, you're able to see her Instagram. Make sure that you do follow her, which is just down here. And people with the book, I love it. I love it. I assume that one of the girls there is your daughter.
No, the one in the middle is actually my sister. She's such a big supporter of me. And the other picture there is my very good friend, Leanne, who planned my book launch and just made it such a success. So I'm really very blessed to have the support of all these people in my life. I think that's really what makes life very rewarding when you support others and others support you.
What is the objective? Like, what are you trying to accomplish? What is the um, pièce of the resistance, or what do you think people are going to get out of this book?
I hope that people who are not West Indian or from the Caribbean get a slice of life of the many different types of people of color that exist. That we're not just one type of people, that we are as diverse as any other race, and that we are as diverse in culture, in education, just in all the ways that humanity is diverse. That's who we are. And I think that, how do I put this now? I remember in my 30s, I read a book from a Sri Lankan author. And I thought, wow, I've just stepped inside another world, a world that I never thought that I could ever be a part of. I've never traveled to Sri Lanka. Or when I read an Indian author, or an author from any country, you step inside their world and it gives you such an insight into people and how they think. And I feel that it's just a gift to be able to tell your own story, or just stories about a region that maybe people are not familiar with, so that they'll be able to see that region or culture as being very rich, as also having value, that the people there also have a voice. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that we as an immigrant, and you and I can probably testify to that, is the difficulty of fitting. In your case, you have a little bit more advantage than I had, because you spoke English, although it's patois, but it's still English. In my case, I had no idea of learning the lingo, learning the language, and trying to actually communicate. But it's so that alone, it makes you feel an outsider, and it doesn't matter how long you live in this country, you're always going to be feeling that an outsider is always going to be different than the person that actually is born here. So that it's a challenge in its own, and it seems like it's a forever thing. As soon as you feel comfortable, as soon as you feel that you fit, as soon as you feel that yes, Canada is my country, this is where I belong, this is what I've spent most of my life, there's something that somebody's going to say, you have an accent, where are you from? And instead of saying, oh, I'm glad to meet you, they turn it around. That makes you feel again an outsider.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the amount of times that people have said that I'm well spoken. And it's not really a compliment, because I think what they're saying is that you're well spoken for a Black person. It sounds like that, and it's my experience is not unique to me. People are now telling that to my daughter, right? That she's well
Wow.
spoken. And it's just, it's a microaggression, and I'm sure many times people don't mean it that way, but their bias comes out,
That's right.
actually, or
And that makes you feel uncomfortable. and
yeah.
and I'm glad that you are actually having this book to kind of shine the light and see, hey, um, especially in Ontario, especially in Toronto. I mean, 90%, I believe, that the population that lives here is from another part of the world. I used to live in Saskatchewan, where yes, very not a lot of immigrant, and you can say yes, most are predominant Canadian. But in Toronto, I mean, we have to actually count in one hand who actually is a native Canadian.
Right,
Everybody is from a different part of the world.
right. That is so true. So I think that I love to add my voice to the narrative of literature. And I think that's my goal. I would like to be known as a Caribbean writer who is also adding her voice to the wide, rich array of Caribbean stories. And I think I'm very proud of Told You because I think it achieves that.
For sure, for sure. And then this is a testament, and this is, I mean, everybody that you know is carrying your book. I've seen you on social media, and that was the proof is on the pudding, and people are definitely gonna get what the essence. We're all equal, we're all the same, let's respect each other's differences. You started doing that with the children's book. Now you're upping up a level and saying to the adult, hey, we're all the same, we all deserve to be respected and to be honored and to be acknowledged for who we are and not where we come from or where our accent is from or where our color is from. We need to be respected as a person. I love your message. I love your message.
Thanks.
Are you are you bringing? How was the book lunch? I mean, you were saying that your sister-in-law helped you, or your sister rather helped you with the book lunch. How did you feel?
So my friend helped me, but I actually had help from a lot of friends, my husband, my children. So it was such a success. There were over 100 people there, and I wanted it to be more of a celebratory book launch instead of just me sitting there reading. I had food. I was supported by Jamaican small businesses like Bold Lemonade, Jeannie's, who is a local Mississauga Jamaican store. She supplied patties, pizza-ish. So there was jerk chicken pizza.
Wow.
We also have oxtail pizza. So yes, and a bunch of we had a raffle with a gift basket, and other small business owners donated to that basket. So it was really, really a great occasion for me. I felt very good about it. And one more thing about Told You, and going back to biases and the book, is that the characters are not politically correct. They also
Oh.
have their own biases. And I just think that it would be interesting for other people outside of my community to also see that, oh, they have biases too, you know, um, in how they look at life and people. So I'm really excited about this book. I'm very proud of it. It took a long time.
I hear you, sister. I know what it's like. My book is in the shelf, and it took me a while to bring it to forth. But I know once it's there, you do whatever you do to promote it, and I think you're doing an amazing job, and you feel good. I mean, how long was your book lunch? How long ago?
It was actually 7 days ago.
Oh wow! Congratulations! It's right off the press, right off the
Yes.
press. So again, everyone, if you would like to purchase your own copy, do not hesitate to connect with her directly. Her website definitely is right here, and I know that there's a form in there. People can write to you as well for if they want a copy through you as well, and it's going to be on Amazon as well. Oh, it is in Amazon already, right?
Yes, it is.
Beautiful, beautiful. And yeah, get your copy because this is hot, 7 days hot off the press.
Hot
It's
up.
incredible. Hot
Thank
off the press. Yeah. So one of the things that I noticed too, that your imagination, we talked about that, just goes and goes and goes. what do you think? What do you see your this book, or perhaps even another book, doing later on in the future? Novel, series, movies, short stories, YouTube. I don't know. The sky's the limit.
I have so many ideas. So that's never been my problem. Um, my mind just goes and goes. I'm always telling stories in my mind. I'm always coming up with those things. I think what my blocks are self-doubt still, you know, and for anyone who is embarking on this journey, I just want to say to them that you may always have that, right? But it's just about pushing through. So my blocks are believing that I can do it with the overwhelming nature of life as we know it today, working a day job and also trying to be a writer at the same time, having a family and being there for them, looking after their needs and balancing that with writing time. So that's always
Mhm.
been my issue more than what am I going to write about next. That's never been an issue, but I really do have an issue with being disciplined. I don't get up early. I don't like to get up early. I'm trying now for maybe the 50th time in my life to try to get up earlier and get more things done, but to fit in and make space for writing, because we also have to make space for our own self-care,
Mhm.
for families, of course, for exercise. So that's my challenge, and that's always been my challenge.
Same here, sister. I am exactly the same way. It's not like we don't have enough time of the day. It's just like we like to have quality time for certain things. I love my sleep. Again, I'm not an early riser myself. I'm just like you, and so I have my alarm and it snoozes as much as possible. And it I think when things are meant to happen are meant to happen. You can't push it too much or too hard, but you're doing it, and that's the greatest part. I mean, look back. We talked about 4 books, full children's book. Now you're doing this big book. I think you should give yourself. Never mind. I'm gonna give you because
Thank
many people that even think about doing, you are actually putting your hands on and here publishing books. So don't belittle yourself. This is more than many other people can say. And one of the things that I mentioned too, that you talked about, say, like, I always ask what would be your word of advice or your words of wisdom, and you just say, you just said it, how people are, if you are doing this, commit yourself. You basically told us how to pursue. But I noticed that you also have a gift of um, teaching and recommending and having the children think about what the possibilities are and self-respect and all the good stuff. But have you ever thought of actually doing running workshops, writing workshops? Because this is your gift, and people need those teachers that are far and few in between nowadays, running workshops and helping young children or in young mind, or maybe young adults, or maybe even adults itself, to do what you're doing.
One day I've done a few, very scattered, but it's something that I have thought about, because I do believe very strongly that all of us have something, that we have gifts and we have talents and abilities, but we are so caught up in life as it is, or we have self-doubt, or maybe we've had someone in our lives, could have been a teacher or just someone maybe who was well-meaning but crushed our dreams. And I think that we are vulnerable as human beings, and we need people to uplift us. So I do want to uplift other people, and I
Mhm.
think it's so important to send a message that you've just got
Mhm.
to keep going. Don't give up on something that you really, love to do. I mean, of course, if something is not working out,
Yes,
but that's not
yes,
what
obviously.
Yeah, that's not what I mean. I mean, when, you have a dream, but things get really hard, and they will get hard. I mean, at certain points, at least quite a few times, I almost gave up on Told You. Quite a few times, actually.
But you're still here and you're still at it. And look at you, you're promoting book number 5, which is an adult book. So again, congratulations. This
Thank
is incredible, and we're here to help you to promote and for the whole world to see it, because it's not just in Canada. We're also in Australia. People are watching us in United States. Huge following in United States. So thank you for reaching out and connecting with me, because this is going to make it at least one person that can see the benefit, that see the gift that you have and connect with you. I mean, that's all I'm asking. But I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot more than that, connecting with you and ordering that book. Again, the website, everyone, do not forget. I love the quote, we all have a gift. And I just put it up out there for you to notice. The website is Peter Gay. And can you pronounce, how do you pronounce that?
PeterGayNash.com.
That's right. I just wanted you to say it for people to connect with you.
Yes, please
um,
connect and please buy the book. Your support for, small authors who are published by small publishing houses, it really means a lot.
mm. This is self-published, or you had somebody publish it for you? This
Someone
latest one.
published it for me, but he's not one of the big publishing houses. He's a small independent publisher. So getting support from people, getting people to buy the book, to review the book, to do a post saying that they love the read and why, it really goes a long way.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And you're seeing on her Instagram, make sure that you do follow her also on Instagram. She's very, she posts a lot. So that's good. And that is the address, Peter Gage Nash, author, on Instagram. And you're also on Facebook as well, correct?
Yes, I am.
There you go. I love publishing because people don't have an idea what is usually like. So I want to make sure that you actually get to see what their social media looks like, so that way you don't have any doubts of who to follow and who to connect with. This is live, so we want to make sure that you are connecting with the right person right here. Peter Gage Nash, children's author, and to have time sometimes to respond to clients or to people that are. I know your life is overwhelming, busy as ever,
I,
and you
I,
do. Yes,
I
and
think
please
that
connect with.
thing makes people happier than when others share that they loved a story, or what they got out of a story or a poem, or what it has done for a child. Someone told me that Juliet Malevolent was the first book that her autistic student had read, and it just, I don't know, just made me feel really good.
That is actually a very, very good testimonial. That is, wow, that is incredible. For you to have somebody actually coming out to you and say, "My child is autistic, loved your book." That is incredible. And those are the stuff that we need. This is stuff that we're looking for you to connect with PETA, and make sure that you do mention any little thing, because that it helps us. I mean, we're writers. We're trying to make sure that we're doing the right thing, and you're pleased with our work. And if there is any improvement, let us know as well. Connect with me. I'm Lizy, your host, and I am can't believe it's been almost an hour with an incredible talk with PETA. This has been great. If you would like to connect with us or with PETA, you can always reach me at LizyT.com is my website, and the website for PETA is right here, and her social media, Facebook, is right here as well for you to connect with her. And yeah, any last word, my friend?
Sorry, any last words?
Yeah.
Last words. Don't give up. And I know this has been said so many times by so many people. I'm not unique in saying it. But I think if you want to pursue something and you are on the path, you are going to hit upon roadblocks. That's normal, but you've just got to look at it. Keep going. Keep going.
Love it. Keep going. Don't give up. Those are the words for a very wise woman, authors of 5 books. And I am so honored and privileged to have her here, sharing her knowledge, her expertise. You look amazing. You look beautiful. Love your red top, by the way, and your necklace. And this is powerful. It gives us a reason of being here in this world, sharing everything that we do with you, my followers, my viewers. And again, I'm so honored to have you here with us today, and have an amazing day.
Thank you, Lizzie. It was a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed
Thank you. And we'll see you guys soon with another guest. And make sure to follow this lady. We'll see you back soon. Bye bye for now.
it.
Bye.